Hello, good morning. Happy to see everyone joining. Wow, we have Nigeria, we have Malawi, Switzerland, but working in Ghana. Okay. Burkina Faso. I see Jardé. Hi, Jardé. Glad to see you. Do not hesitate, please, to turn on the video to make it more warming, let's say, especially for our colleagues who are in the cold. And also, it's also good to see the face when interacting. So I think we can start now. Yes. I'm not sure, Charlotte or Camila, one of you is sharing the screen.
Yeah, I'll do that straight away.
Thank you.
You could. Yeah.
Yes, everyone, do not hesitate to introduce yourself in the chat. Your name, where you're coming from, the organization also you are with, and if you're not directly in Africa, which country you are working with, more especially. It will be good to have this as well. So thank you, everyone. I am Laboratou Dia, and I am a nutrition and food system specialist working mostly in Africa. I would say Western and Central Africa, my area of expertise. I'm a bit ashamed of saying that I don't know much Southern or Eastern Africa yet. But yes, I have more than 10 years of experience in that field, working mostly with NGOs and UN agencies. I am here with my colleagues, Charlotte and Jeroen, as well as Camilla, and I will maybe give them the floor to introduce themselves briefly. And again, welcome to this information session on the Conscious Food System Leadership Program. We are very happy to have you with us today. Over to you, Charlotte, Jeroen, Camilla. We'll say Charlotte first. Thanks.
Thank you. So I'm Charlotte. I work with the Conscious Food Systems Alliance Secretariat as practice advisor. I've been working about 25 years on food systems, and quite a few of those years actually spent working in support of sub-Saharan Africa projects on nutrition with the Food and Agriculture Organization. I'm delighted to be back amongst African brothers and sisters. It's been a very joyful part. We did a lot of work on integrating nutrition in the CADEP agricultural investment programs with the African Union. Lao was part of the adventure. And yeah, with CoFSA since about 3 years now. I've been doing also a lot of facilitation and support on the inner dimension of change. Jeroen?
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte. It's great to be here. My name is Jeroen Jans. I'm the co-founder of the Inner Green Deal, and we facilitate programs very much like this, helping people to reconnect to nature, to others, and to themselves as well. And my background, I'm a mindfulness practitioner, so I bring in a little bit that reflective and contemplative part in the program. And I'll be one of your facilitators on this program. Happy to be here, and I've done a number of programs in Africa and in some of the countries, but I will not claim to know as much as you know about either the region or food systems. But I'm very happy to be here as a facilitator. Camilla.
Hi all, my name is Camila. I'm supporting CoFSA since the end of last year. Right now I'm supporting this program. I will be in the backstage, so any support, help, questions you have, you can address me. I will be happy to help you. Welcome all to this call. And back to you, Laura.
Thank you very much, and thank you again. Welcome to all the colleagues who just joined us. We are very happy to have such a diverse group with us this morning. We are very happy. So I will go through introduction, then I will give the floor to Charlotte, who will give you a bit more information on the model, and then Jeroen will continue. The Conscious Food System Alliance is yes, good. Thank you, Charlotte. So the Conscious Food System Alliance, it's CoFSA, is a movement that has been convened by UNDP and has been launched in 2022. Today, it has about 450 members and more than 3,500 followers. It's a movement that is a movement of food, agriculture, and consciousness practitioners who are united around a common goal, which is to support people from across the food and agriculture system to cultivate the inner capacity that activate the systemic change and the food system transformation and regeneration. The CoFSA, in partnership with the Inner Green Deal, that is founded by Jeroen here, have launched the Conscious Food System Leadership Program. I think this is the third cohort. I can say we had the global cohort, we had the Asian cohort, and now we are launching this African cohort. So we are very excited about that. And this program will help food system practitioners in Africa to strengthen their sustainability work through more contemplative practices. And the overall purpose of the program is to develop a more holistic approach to addressing food system crises and challenges that we are facing by cultivating inner capacity. And this is also in alignment with the Inner Development Goals framework, with its 5 dimensions, which are being, thinking, relating, collaborating, and acting. This program will include 6 models, live models. So we will really expect each of you, to be actively participating in this 6 model. And it's for exclusively for professionals working in food system in Africa. As I mentioned before, we had different cohorts, and we will hopefully continue to have a different cohort. We are fully aware that this session is mostly in English, so a lot of our colleagues, which are French speaking, are not able to join, and we are working on the possibilities eventually to have a session in French as well. It's something we are working on because we are aware that we're also missing a big part of the region. So it's for change makers working in food system, whether they are from the public, private sector, government, NGOs, farm organizations. And as I was just saying before, being fluent in English for this one is a must, and having obviously a good internet connection, since we are 100% live and online. As this program is fully funded by our partner, our donor, it will be free for up to 50 participants. What does it mean? It means that we will have to select only 50 participants. So we'll be turning down a lot of other potential participants. So we require you to really make the time to participate to at least 5 out of the 6 models in order to be able to have the certificate of completion of that program. It's something very important that you participate actively and you do the practices as much as you can. That's why we hope that you can join with a colleague from the same organization to develop the buddy system, the buddy mechanism, and have a support to practice more within your organization what you would have like gained from this program. It's sometimes easier when we are 2 together to practice than practicing by ourselves. So priority will be given for people from the same organization for sure, in order to have greater impact. Also to have the capacity to integrate these learnings and agenda in your own programs and own organization, and being involved in CoFSA activities, being member of the CoFSA. I think these are mostly the background, the condition, and setting the scene. And I will, I think, hand over. Yes, my colleague Camila just posted all the information on the chat for the membership application and to join the program. Now over to you, Charlotte, for the innate change.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lau. Yes, I think many of us have been working on what we could call the outer transformation, the policies, the technical solutions, the projects that are trying to make food systems more sustainable, more equitable, more harmonious with nature. But more and more evidence is showing that if we really want to activate that change, we need to look at the deeper levels, the mindsets, the values that are driving behaviors, that are driving consumer choices, that are influencing how farmers choose to farm when they have agency, but also all the other actors in the system. So that's what this course is really trying to focus on, is that dimension of the inner transformation. And the idea, if more of us are also working on this inner transformation collectively, we can start being more effective in shifting this system. If we try to apply this specifically to the food system, we can see that we have a lot of the underpinning dynamics that are at the root of the crises we're seeing in terms of climate, in terms of equity, in terms of conflicts. There's a disconnection to self, for example, to our bodies. Are we really eating what our bodies need? From a health perspective, we're disconnected from others. More and more children living in urban areas, especially more in Europe, and maybe also starting now in Africa, don't even know that certain carrots or animals, live on farms, comes from the land. They just think they come from supermarkets. So we're disconnected from the farmers. We're disconnected from, all the actors in the long value chains. And also, again, we're disconnected from nature. Oops, sorry. Yeah. And so this is being manifested in all sorts of problems. The eating disorders, for example. We see this in the obesity and the double or triple burden of malnutrition. We see practitioners burning out. We see farmers suicide. We see the distance between food producers and globalized value chains really contributing to more marginalization. And in terms of nature, we are often in a culture of extraction where we just use nature as a tool to the point that it can be degraded. So what we're trying to do here is shift the consciousness that is driving all of these behaviors to work towards more improved diets and well-being, ensuring food systems are more respectful of all of those involved, more inclusive, and that we can have a transition to modes of living that are much more in harmony with nature. So it's quite a task. It's quite a challenge ahead. And so that's why we're trying to look at this inner development for food systems transformation. So there's a dimension of understanding. So part of what we'll be covering in the course is the cognitive aspect, understanding the links between the inner and outer change at the individual and collective level and how that connects to the system. We would like to support connections. So we'll have a lot of exercises on self-reflection that enable you to be more aware of what's important for you, why you might be behaving in certain ways, connect with each other. So lots of exchanges in small groups, but we'll also have some guided practices that involve nature connection. And we'll be cultivating inner qualities, drawing from various tools that have been developed over the years and that come from different traditions. And then, of course, a big part of our conversations is how do we integrate that? How do we integrate that, in our food systems work? And that's maybe, I think, a unique feature of this course. You'd have a lot of mentoring or coaching or leadership courses. But in this one, we really try to focus practically, how does this come to life in our work on food systems? And I think with that, I can hand over, or no, is it still me, Jeroen? I think, yeah, I can continue. So we'll be structuring the course around the 5 inner development goals, which are being, thinking, relating, collaborating, and acting. So this is a framework that has these goals and associated skills that you can see on this screen. So we'll be going through them in the course. It's a bit of a structure, but we'll also see through the course that they're actually very much interrelated and that they all support each other. So there's a little bit of each of them in all the modules. And yeah, there's all sorts of dimension. We'll invite you to integrate practices, contemplative practices in your routine, supporting habit change, especially through there's this platform and an app that will help you, doing nature walks, journaling. But then a big part is just being very present. And that's why we really, as Lau said, emphasize the being on the line online, because even if we record, really the transformation comes from the conversations that are in breakout groups and that are not recorded for privacy reasons, and also the harvesting of those discussions which we do not record. So it's not a cognitive course. It's really something about being present. And so yes, there will be 5 modules plus an introduction, because it's really important to set the scenes. So we've tried to time it to respect your busy schedules, so that it's roughly every 2 weeks. I found when I first did this course as a participant, that those 2 hours and a half every 2 weeks were like a beacon in my busy calendar, where I could take a time to breathe and regenerate a little bit, and at the same time it was genuinely supporting my work. So I would hope that would be the experience for you too. And as you see below, there's also all these practices that you can do in your own pace and as part of your daily routine. And so yeah, I think we've had quite positive feedback so far. Really, people appreciating connecting with colleagues on a topic that's at the top of their mind and inspiring, but at the same time worrying. That is a reality. We're talking tough. We're working on tough areas. This notion of cultivating skills and doing that together. So we're collaborating in the course, and that can be a model for collaborating outside the course in your work.
Great, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I would like to say a little bit about how we look to the impact of a course like this. We all invest time, you invest time, we invest time, resources, and what does it lead to? Why does it matter? And we have been collaborating for about 5 years now with Lund University, their sustainability center, in particular Professor Wamsler, who's a real global leader in this field, combining on the one hand the inner dimension and mindset change and behavior change, and on the other hand sustainability work. And together we've been doing this research, evaluating courses like this, and there are some real clear messages. And here's one of them, showing that people that demonstrate more compassion to others also tend to have a more strong pro-environmental and more pro-social behavior. And that's something that we research. And maybe if we go to the next slide, we'll be a bit more specific. Charlotte, yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so here's a quote. Before I would feel overwhelmed and stressed by the enormity of the crisis, and now I feel more connected and more balanced and inspired to be part of a generation who can still make a difference. And I think this 2 dimensions of dealing with this overwhelm, and on the other hand, coming out, having more of a sense that, yes, we can have a meaningful impact. I think those 2 elements are really important. And the way we try to evaluate that is by looking at what happens at these 5 dimensions that Charlotte mentioned before, based on the inner development goals framework. And you see here, lots of you already doing lots of thinking, cognitive work, lots of collaboration, lots of acting. So if you see where the biggest changes are coming out of this program, that's really this line around being quality. So the first line, you can see, on average, if you add up the moderately and significantly impacted by this program, that's 92%. So 92% are saying, coming out of this program, I have really strengthened these being qualities, which include values, authenticity, self-awareness, patience, presence. So that is something that we really try to cultivate, and that is something probably in addition. Not everyone has a lot of practice in it. Maybe you have, but then it's great. You can perhaps deepen that and share those insights with participants on the course. Another thing which is stronger than some of the other ones, even though I think everyone takes something on all of these dimensions, is this third dimension, relating. And that is relating, of course, to others where people that are experiencing difficulties, farmers, for instance, but also other stakeholders. And that is something that, how can we deal with those people? How can we relate with empathy without burning out? So we talk about compassion, but also compassion for those people in the food system that we find difficult. How do we develop that? Can we work more effectively with difficult people? And then it comes, how about yourself? Self-compassion. Consistently, when we evaluate change makers like yourself, some of you have quite strong empathy and compassion levels for others, and yes, but when it comes to self-compassion, taking the time for yourself to resource, I see already some of you smiling, you recognize quickly that that is often deprioritized. And when we do that, when we don't take care of ourselves, we risk burning out. You know, my father had a burnout, my sister had a burnout. They're super committed people, and they didn't recover fully. So for me, it's been really important to understand how that works and how we can be more kind to ourselves and therefore more effective change makers. From being well to doing well, and from doing well to being well. So anyway, I'll stop preaching. Now, we have a lot of testimonies. I'll let you read this in your own time, but people, it's very effective beyond the statistics. It's very touching what people write after a course like this. What has changed about self-awareness and how that impacts their work and how that impacts how they relate to others. Very touching, I feel. We go to the next slide. This is an interesting one as well, I feel. When we ask people, you know, how did you integrate some of these insights about inner change? And, you know, here it says on average 58% of people initiated some or substantial changes in their work before the end of the program. So you go through the program, and this is what we invite you to do, in particular when you're with a colleague in the program, to already start chewing on this, to start reflecting on this, and to see how you could start integrating this into your work. And then you can see here, this middle column, have initiated some changes. And then on the left side, you can see where that is in particular. So for instance, how we lead, or how we communicate, or how we collaborate. That starts to shift. And that's very interesting. And ultimately, that's of course what we would like to see, that this is not only a program that resources yourself, but makes you a better collaborator, makes your work more impactful, and changes in a way your ecosystem. And that's in a way what's coming out here. And then on the next slide, there are again some descriptions of how that really works. And we will share the slides so you can read this in your own time. So I'll just, I guess I'll pause here and give back to Lau.
Thank you very much, Jeroen. So, I don't know, Charlotte,
Charlotte,
maybe.
I think if you can,
Yes.
maybe just wrap up the
The
part.
slide back.
Yes, slide back, please.
Sorry, I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
So is it visible?
Yes, thank you. So these are already the date that are scheduled for the different sessions. So we'll have the introduction, the first session, introduction on March 4th, and then, as Charlotte was explaining before, very important that you find the time to be with us, ideally with a colleague from the same organization. So I think next slide.
Yeah, maybe just good to mention what's here at the bottom, that we also have that you reserve a bit of time, ideally every day or at least every few days, for self-practice, to read a little bit about this, to do some perhaps meditative practice that we have recorded for you and that you can do on your own time, to discuss with fellow participants and colleagues, to go on a nature walk. And you don't have to do all of that every day. But, you know, if you ask me how much time you ideally should reserve, think about ideally doing every day half 20, 30 minutes. And hopefully you can squeeze that in. And perhaps think about how can you make a little bit of space for this? What could you do less in your day to make a little bit of space for this program to allow it to have that impact? So
And as Jeroen, you just mentioned, it could go from taking a walk, from meditating, it could be praying, it could be something that you're already doing, but try to visualize more your contribution to, and you as an actor of the change in the food system. And thanks to that program, and thanks to the content that you will gain from that program, how you will transpose it to your work and your contribution. I think maybe we can also take a little bit of a few minutes, 2-3 minutes with you, Charlotte, if you can maybe guide us through a little a grounding moment, maybe. Thank you.
Yes, and I want to apologize for the jumping slides. My mouse is playing tricks on me. So no, thank you very much, Lau. I think, yeah, before we go into the practicalities of how to apply, we can give each other a little taste of some of the practices we incorporate in the course. So if you feel comfortable doing so, because we take so little time to just stop in our day, let's give ourselves a few seconds, couple of minutes, just to stop. And so you can do that, maybe closing your eyes, if that's comfortable. You can feel the ground beneath your feet. Make yourself comfortable in your chair. You might want to straighten your back a little bit to ease in the breath. And just feel your breath, your chest rising and falling. And you may want to deepen that breath, taking a deeper breath as if you wanted to draw the oxygen from the soil beneath your feet. And feel the support of the land that is holding you as you do so. Feel your body. You can take this as an opportunity to make a bit of space. Give yourselves a few seconds to clear your mind of your to-do list or any stress you have. Just a little gift of calmness for a few seconds. Take the time to also be aware of being in this Zoom room and thus connected to many from across Africa. Us in Europe, but many of you all in Africa. So the African continent vibrating as we all connect. And allow to feel, how were you inspired by what we just said, or maybe made curious, or does this resonate? Is this new or something already familiar? Are you potentially excited about the prospect of this course or not sure? All these emotions are fine. Just allow yourself to integrate what we've shared and how you responded to it. Maybe some questions are bubbling up, and if you will have the space to address them. So feeling gratitude for being all connected now, we can connect also opening our eyes, coming back to the space. And I think we can share a few practical information maybe on how to apply. Shall we do that? Or and then we go for questions and answers?
Thank you.
Whoa. So let me share my slide again with the nitty-gritty on the application, and then we'll go for questions and answers.
Camila, do you want to jump in here maybe on how to apply?
Yeah, sure. I will share with you some links in the chat. You will find the program, more detail, and the application form. You can go through application form. There are some questions that you can answer. Also remind you that to apply, one of the requirements is to be a member of CoFSA. So I already sent the link for you to also enroll in CoFSA. The application deadline is in January 24th, and the selected candidates will be notified by the end of January. Any question you may have, you can write me, you can find the email here. Yeah, and we will be sharing this recording to everyone for you to have it at hand. Yeah. I don't know if you have any further questions. We can open the floor for some questions and answers.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you, Camilla. So yes, as she was saying, application are until January 24th. So you might expect an answer for us like around mid-February, I would say, before the start of the program. Now I see already some hands up, so I will give the floor already to Natalie. Over to you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Yes, my question is, how important is the fact that ideally you should register with a colleague? I explained very quickly, I'm a farmer. I run the farm basically alone with a little bit of help of my husband, but I do a lot of awareness work. I work a lot with kids. And I am a member of the IDG network here in Mauritius. And I have plans to use this training to then spread it through these different organizations. So I will not really be participating with other colleagues, but I really, really want to participate. So I'm like, how can I increase my chances and not being shut down just because I don't register with other colleagues, because I'm truly motivated and, you know, I really want to participate. That is my question.
Jeroen, Charlotte, I will let you answer maybe. I have my idea, but yeah, I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I can answer on, we look at different criteria, of course, Natalie, and I think what you've just shared, actually sharing how you will be doing that in, part of networks, is completely fine. And it could be also that you decide to, bring on board somebody else from the IDG Mauritius network or another farmer that you think the idea is that it will be easier for you to put things in practice if you're not alone. So it's to have a buddy that can help you in the follow-up to the course. So that's the idea, and I think the main thing here is creating good conditions to be able to put the learnings in practice. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, I don't see who is speaking, but go ahead, please. You can introduce yourself as well. It will be good. Thank you very much.
Please, good morning. I'm speaking from Ghana. I'm called Amwini Kwe. I'm a partner. I'm currently partnering with Alice Grossman, and we are also currently working on a project which is about sustainable farming and regenerative agriculture in Ashanti region of Ghana. And the purpose of this project is to expose the farming communities in Ashanti region of syntropic and regenerative agriculture. And the reason why we are implementing this project is most of the farmers are engaged in conventional farming, and this conventional farming has negative effect on the environment, especially the toxic fertilizers they have been using. So we want to conscientize the farmers from conventional farming to regenerative and syntropic farming, because regenerative and syntropic farming, which is a form of sustainable farming, has positive impact on the ecosystem and also help to fight climate change and also enhance biodiversity as well as help food security.
Do you have a question, Ami?
I was just telling you can go. Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. No problem. Okay, Alice. Thank you. Well noted. No, great. I mean, and I think indeed many people might be working in farming, and that's a whole work stream in the Conscious Food Systems Alliance. I might take the opportunity to say what becoming a CoFSA member entails. If in case you're not already part of the Conscious Food Systems Alliance, it's really not a scary thing. For one thing, it's completely free. And it's really just an opportunity to be connected to other like-minded professionals working in food systems, a little bit like Amui just described this kind of work. Many of our members are doing so. We have all sorts of online events, webinars. We also give you the opportunity to connect bilaterally through Zoom coffee chats. You can share information about your activities in our newsletters. So it's just being part of a community where we all support each other in bringing this interchange. And there will be, I think Camilla can share also the link to the membership guide that describes what it's about. And our hope, to be honest, is we're seeing more and more interest to see CoFSA applied in countries or at the regional level. We're having national hubs being established. For example, here in France, there's a CoFSA France that's being established. We're talking about CoFSA UK, and we know some of you had indicated in the last Alliance gathering that you might be interested in starting national hubs in Africa, some African countries. So we really hope the course can be a foundation for that, CoFSA Africa. And that it's the beginning of a network of practitioners, and that you can then, the people part of the course can be activators of this CoFSA Africa. So that's one of our ambitions. And we would love to one day hold a CoFSA event in Africa. So yeah, we're hoping by joining hands, we can also do some in-person events on the continent if we manage to get resources, because in-person events are also very, very powerful.
Thank you, Charlotte. We have a question from Vincent Kalimba. Vincent is a member of CoFSA since the beginning, 2022, and is the IDG Center Coordinator for Rwanda. And the question he has is, if he brings in different people, 3 other people, do they need to apply individually, or do he have them in his account? Yes, so the answer for you, Vincent, so I'll go ahead. The answer will be yes, they need to apply individually, but mentioning the organization that you are working with, so at least we can also make the connection. So do not hesitate to mention that you're applying with other team member. I hope
just a shout out to Vincent.
Hello.
We were in Rwanda. Hi, Vincent. Good to.
Hello. Good things to you all.
Yes, and we have been collaborating very closely with the Inner Development Goals. So Natalie, this is a good example. There was a whole cohort. So I'm really happy to see you here as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing. If you're talking to colleagues, and we hate the process of having to select who can then join the course, because we have all these wonderful application forms, and we can't always accept everybody. But so please, apologies in advance, but do give it a go. It's important, if you're bringing on board colleagues, to emphasize being present. It's sometimes really saddened us where we, accepted people's applications and then they don't show up on the live sessions. We're thinking, we turned people down, but so yeah, we're thinking, oh no, we have actually more space on this call than actually the number of people there. So the commitment to being present in at least 5 of the 6 online sessions is really important to emphasize when you're also bringing others on board. Thanks so much.
Thank you. The floor is still open. I see William Awari. Sorry for my mispronunciation in case. Correct me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. It's good to see Charlotte, to see you, Laura. This is the first time. Usually had the opportunity to participate with the CoFSA team. Hello, Camila. It's nice to see you, new member. Really. So thank you so much for this amazing program. I'm really excited to be in this one. I will immediately do my membership and put everything. So I just want want to share something like I'm from North Africa, and I want to ask you about the eligibility. It's okay. It's is it okay, Charlotte? Okay, I'm seeing the head of Charlotte, and this is
Yes,
very
yes, North
sign.
Africa, all of Africa.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much. This is a good sign. This is a good one. I hope to be accepted in this program. I'm very excited to do this with farmers and with cooperatives that I'm meeting and everything. Thank you so much for your beautiful sessions and like having this is amazing how will spread the beautiful consciousness and the welfare of farmers. This is the most important thing in with CoFSA team. So we wish you good work and good luck for me to be accepted in this program. Thank you.
Thank you, William.
Thank
you. Then I give the floor to Atiku Brand. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope you are getting me clearly. Yes. Yeah, I'm Atiku Brand from Uganda. I am just very excited. Thank you all for the presentation and for taking us through. And I have been having a very big person working with the farmers to improve their resiliency, especially when it comes to food security, using agroecology practices, where we have been promoting really making sure that these farmers are able to produce using the available resources that they have, and they have very healthy food for their life. I think when I saw the program, I was very excited and I'm very happy. Even though from my previous organization, I was fully in that, but when I crossed to UNDP, I am not fully involved along that line. And when I saw it now also building in the leadership part, I think I'm very excited. I know the selection process might be tight and hard. I pray that I become one of the successful person who will be going through. I had already submitted my application, but I also just wanted to know, I have a colleague, currently I'm on my annual leave, but I said I cannot miss this. I must attend it whether I'm on leave or not. I have a colleague that we are supposed to apply together, but in the event that I wanted to know, in the event that that colleague doesn't apply, will it affect my application or not? I think that will be my my question is following what my application. Thank you.
Maybe if I can just jump in briefly there, because you mentioned the word leadership as well, and I thank you for bringing that up, Atiku. I think it's important that hopefully it's obvious that we see ourselves as kind of change makers, right? So we don't require formal leadership roles, hierarchical leaders. So anyone within your organization who has a passion for, moving along the agenda, for making change, and has some consideration for this inner development, what is needed to change from the inside, could join. So if you work in UNDP Uganda, I imagine there must be more people, and even if they're outside UNDP, like we were saying with Nathalie, if you're in the same, maybe in another capacity, collaborating in an ecosystem locally, or with another colleague who could really support you, then I think that would help as well. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Great. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Alice has her hand up, and also thank God. Yeah, Laura.
Yes, also, I know we had Clarice from Burkina Faso. We have Mohamed Kader, I don't know from which place, which I think more French speaking. They were a little concerned. Do not hesitate if you have questions to write it down in the chat or to take the floor. Please, you are welcome. And give the floor to Thank God. Thank God, go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's really great to be here. And my name is Tangod Nomsen from Nigeria. And Actually, I don't have more of the questions. I don't have much question because I mean, most of the questions I need to be asked is most of them are answered in the document. I just want to thank the team really, really greatly for coming up with this opportunity and having it or making it a point of duty to bring consciousness to food system, because I think it's really very important that we sometimes stop and think about these things. It's really like extremely very important, because sometimes people don't just stop and think about where what they eat comes from, how it is produced, the processes that it takes. We just want to eat. And it's really very important that, we make people understand that this thing that we are eating, which is one thing that connects every human or every living organism, because I mean, how can we survive without the food? It's really very important that in as much as it is one thing that we all use or eat to survive and work on the economy, to work on our institution, maybe education, work on our research, we just don't have the time to sometimes pause and think, where does it come from? What is the process? Does my choice actually matter? Which oftentimes does matter. So I feel like it's very important, and I want to thank greatly to the team for coming up with this. I think it's a wonderful experience. When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank God for this. And I think Alice, yes, I see your hand. Sorry, you can go ahead, and I see your chat as well. Please. Over to you.
Yes, I'm collaborating with a very ambitious young businessman from Ghana. And I've been channeling him away from the gene technology to syntropic farming. And tomorrow we have a meeting. We actually want to make an application to the Humboldt Stiftung in Germany, which is, and we have a meeting with Forests for Farming, which is a big organization in Germany that promotes syntropic farming. And if you know anything about syntropic farming, you know that there's a good degree of spirituality that goes along with that. And yeah, we have this meeting tomorrow. This is all just developing, but I have really the serious question. Could you imagine taking this exquisite course and including it in such an app? This could be possible, and we can discuss it tomorrow with the Humboldt manager, because I have a meeting online tomorrow at 2 o'clock with Joshua and the manager of this NGO called Forest for Farming, and they are connected with the project in Brazil from Ernst Götz. So this is really a wonderful yeah, possibility. And Joshua, and the funny thing is, Joshua and we are from 2 different countries, 2 different cultures. I'm doing everything online and he's in Ghana. But we have a shared spirituality. And we are working with the principles of even this course now. And it's really
Thanks, Alice.
we have a wonderful relationship, and it seems to me that this could fit into that app. I mean, he will need to have some way of
Alice, I'm just mindful of the time, but thanks. I think that's a really interesting idea. I mean, maybe we could to be discussed maybe outside of this call. There's always a tricky part that a big part of the transformation we see is in the interpersonal exchanges that happen live.
Yeah.
And that's a very fundamental part. So I would say yes, but to be able to discuss, and I think we'll yeah. Thank you very much. But we need to quickly go to it.
Thank you very much. I think we will wrap up the session and conclude the discussion. So we are really looking forward for your application. Camila has shared the different links for to become a CoFSA member and to apply and register to the course. Questions about if we could apply with 3 different colleagues. Yes, you could apply to with 3 colleagues. Do not hesitate to apply. The application will be reviewed anyway, as we said. And the only thing we really want to emphasize on is please make the time to be present and to participate actively, because it means we would have turned down many other applications. Again, thank you a lot for the time this morning and the opportunity that we had in the exchange. I don't know if maybe I'll give a last word. Jeroen, Charlotte, is there any last word you want to share with the colleagues? Camila as well.
Charlotte, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, we hope to see you on the course, and if we have to, turn you down, please don't be offended, and we're doing our utmost to create further opportunities in the future, so it's definitely not a closed door. And in any case, if you're not yet a CoFSA member, welcome, 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 because there's a lot that's happening in the community outside the course, which is also very enriching. So this is just one part of it. And over to you, Jeroen.
No, very happy to see you all and the enthusiasm that you shared. So this is making us also very happy. So thank you. And last word to Lau, and then see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone. And yes, I hope to receive the applications. We'll be revising them and reviewing them. And thank you again. Hope to see you very soon during the program. Have a good day.